Hi team, my name is Mr. Powell. Welcome to the first installment of our Introduction to Russian History Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. At Knowable World, we teach history as the revelation and explanation of the world we live in. In this series, we are going to learn about the history of Russia. You can watch these videos one at a time each week as they are released on YouTube. But you can also go to the Knowable World website for the full printables package and complete video series, including the timeline and activity pack for this entire series available on demand. It's all there at knowableworld.com. We're going to begin in the present. That's because at Knowable World, we always connect history to the world we live in. What is Russia like today? The answer is, it's all about Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has been the leader of Russia for 25 years. That's a long time for someone who is supposedly elected to be in charge of a government. Is that possible in the United States, or in any free country for that matter? It used to be that kings ruled their countries for life. The people did not get to choose their kings. They were simply forced to accept whoever was in charge, because they happened to be part of the royal family and they were next in line. When governments began to be elected by the people, as in ancient Greece and Rome, officials were only in charge for a few years, and even as little as one. Different formulas have been tried at different times in different places to decide how long a leader should be in charge. In the United States, for instance, when a president is elected, that person is allowed to be in charge for 4 years. After 4 years, there is another election. And it is possible for the president to be re-elected for another 4 years. That doesn't always happen because the people are not satisfied with the job the president is doing and they choose someone else. But when the people approve of a president, he can be in office for 8 years in all, and that's it. The law that imposes this limit is called the 22nd Amendment. It says, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. As you may know, in Russia, which used to be a communist country, the leaders were not elected. They were in power, like kings, for life. But Russia is supposed to have elections now. Communism ended in Russia in 1991, and after that, leaders were elected. There have only been 3 since then, however. And in truth, Vladimir Putin has been in charge since the year 2000. Russia used to have a limit on presidents like America, where the president was elected for 4 years, and then allowed to be re-elected. Because of this limit, Vladimir Putin was in charge for 8 years, and then replaced by his ally, a man named Dmitry Medvedev. But this was just for show. The laws were changed, and Vladimir Putin was allowed to become president again. And he has been the leader of Russia for 12 years since he was re-elected. Why is Vladimir Putin in charge of Russia? The answer is not simple. For one thing, Russia never had a democracy until 1991. The people don't really know how it works, and they are not able to prevent powerful people from being in charge. Having a real democracy is not easy, and the Russians simply have not learned how. Another reason, however, is that Vladimir Putin is considered a hero by many Russians. Just look at this exhibit dedicated to Vladimir Putin, which makes him out to be a superhero, riding a Russian bear. Why do so many people think he is so great? The odd answer is simple. It's because he stands for Mother Russia against the United States. The idea of Mother Russia is an important one for understanding Russians. 24 million Russians died for Mother Russia in World War II. It is a belief that the nation of Russia is special and deserves the sacrifice of the people to protect her. We will study the history of Russia to understand where this idea comes from and how powerful it is. For now, we must conclude the first mini-lesson by talking about the most recent example of Vladimir Putin being the leader of Mother Russia. The latest example is the Russia-Ukraine war, which started in 2022. The main reason Russia invaded Ukraine was to prevent Russia from becoming a member of the American-led military alliance called NATO. Russia thinks of NATO as its main enemy. It did not want Ukraine to be a part of this alliance, so it attacked. It has been a terrible war, and we don't know how many millions of people have died, or been injured, or lost their homes. It may be a long time before we really know. But Vladimir Putin is still in charge, and he was recently re-elected, supposedly, for another term. He will be in charge of Russia for as long as he can. What effect will this have on the world we live in? That's what we are here to learn by studying Russian history. It's an important story. I look forward to teaching you the anchor facts of that story in this series. See you again soon.